Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tori. If you're new here, thank you so much for being here. Today I'm going to do a little pantry restock or made from scratch kitchen. We are on the last days of our food stock for the week, and instead of going to the store, my husband and I have been doing this for years, but we make everything that we can. So we grab whatever we have on the shelf, we use up leftovers in the refrigerator, we use up items that may be going expired, although we typically are ignoring those expiration dates, but we have fun with it and we get unique recipes out of it. So I am sharing it with you. I know a lot of you enjoyed these videos and I really love cooking, so I can't wait to show you what we have in store. We are going to start off with something simple, bacon that was on sale. We are just going to cook that up in the oven at 375 for around 16 minutes. That way my husband can grab them for BLTs and easy lunches. He is in law enforcement, so anything quick and easy is the best route for him, but here it is all cooked up. And then I take the bacon grease and strain it out, and then I use it to cook for the week to come. That bacon grease will probably last us 2 weeks now that I think about it, but I do like to have a stock of it just because to me it's free. You're getting extra from the product that you're buying. So now we are moving on to some butter. My kids and I love cooking together, and their favorite thing to do is butter. So we do have some heavy cream from a local dairy, and I just put it in my KitchenAid here and whisk it up. I will kind of show you the steps, but I feel like it just takes practice and muscle memory. We really enjoyed trying to churn some butter by hand, but it took a little bit. It was part of our little homeschool, unschool lesson. If you didn't know, that is what we do here. And yeah, it's fun. I encourage you to try it. I know a lot of people are hesitant, but if you find cream at the grocery store on sale, go ahead and try it with that, because then you don't really have a lot to lose. You can also make whipped cream with heavy cream and a number of other things. But in the last video, I had questions, does half and half work? And no, it does not. It's not the same fat content. So you really do want a heavy cream. It just won't separate and it will just sit there and whisk and whisk and whisk. Don't ask me how I know, but yes, you're going to wait till it gets kind of to this consistency, and then you are going to whip it up. I apologize. I do say kind of a lot, and I don't mean it like that, so I'm trying to work that out of my vocabulary, but you want it to have that consistency so it can start to separate. And then you are left with your butter solid and then your buttermilk, and don't throw that out because it makes really good biscuits the next morning or whatever you want, but it is vital that you hold on to that. So I'm just taking it out here, and then what you want to do is just wash your hands and squish all of that water out. So it's kind of like modeling clay. It's super fun. My son loves to do this, but he was playing outside, so it was up to me, but I just kind of take it out of the KitchenAid whisk here with a spatula, and then I roll it in a ball and get all that liquid out, and then I press it into one of my Pyrex glasses. But they do have like fun butter molds on Amazon, and I've seen local shops make them. I was at home in November in Pennsylvania, and I did see one at a little thrift market, and it was vintage. So yes, keep your eyes out for that. If you ever see one, I will reimburse you if you pick it up, because I would love to have something vintage like that. So we are going to start on some sandwich bread. We have some in the freezer, but I just like to save that for some quick bread. We have time today, so we are going to make it here. We do a half cup of milk and then a half cup of water, and we warm that up on the stove. Go ahead, buddy. I have a great helper here. Warm that up on the stove, loving how cautious you are. Wow. I see that took some concentration. I love it. And then what we are going to end up doing is heating that up, adding some yeast, honey, some flour, and some salt, and then maybe an egg. Probably, I don't know. We'll see where it takes us here. But I do like to add some sort of oil. So I'll do some grass-fed butter, and then we will go from there. So I did put that yeast in there and then let it set for around 10 minutes covered, and then I took the cover off and added salt and around 3 cups of flour, but honestly it depends each time. It always changes. I again think this recipe is kind of like muscle memory, and sometimes it tastes different, but you know, we eat it because we don't like to waste food. And again, the kids really love to make homemade bread. It goes very fast, so we could make these in bigger batches, but I do like to focus on protein for the kids, and I feel like if I make multiple loaves of bread, they will be gone super quick, which is, you know, a good thing, but at the same time, I would rather focus on protein-rich foods for them. So I mix that together. I don't like the dough hook. I have had that question in the past, and that's why I don't use it. So I let it rise for about an hour here, and then I just take it and roll it out into a little sandwich loaf here, put it in a oiled glass dish or bread loaf pan, and then I bake it at 375, and I butter the top, and I leave it in there for like 13 minutes or 15 minutes. It just depends on your setup. So keep an eye on it. You want it toasty on the top, but obviously soft in the middle, but everyone has their preferences.
Fight the darkness till break of day. The heart and the past changes so fast, like a chameleon. Red was in blue skies. What did we know?
Okay, we have the pickled egg beets. This is a family recipe that I am changing drastically because I don't have a lot of stuff. So I do have the beets in there, and then I do have a cup of vinegar. And then in this jar here, I have some hard-boiled eggs, some onions, and some dill pickles. And then I just have seasoned salt and fresh garlic. And then the beet mixture will go on top of these, and then they will sit in the refrigerator. So they become pink and delicious, and they're amazing. It's actually like a bar food that I first noticed, but I know that sounds strange. If you're from rural Pennsylvania, you probably get it. All the old dive bars and all the Legions and the Elks Clubs and the Mooses, all those fun places, the vets. But yeah, that's where I saw the most of the pickled beet eggs. So I'm excited to share this little family recipe for you. So I totally forgot that I did get this Mrs. Wage's pickled beets, so I threw a little bit in there. It was 10 cents at Baumgar's last season, so I grabbed that. And I did want to mention I would normally put it in a big jar like this just because I enjoy them, but I didn't because I didn't boil enough eggs. So they're going into the 32 ounce, which is totally fine. It just depends on what you like. So all I did was sprinkle about 2 tablespoons in here. So there's black peppercorn, there's dehydrated herbs. I'm going for more of a dill scenario here. You could totally take this sweet if you wanted with using white sugar. Whenever I'm in the kitchen and it calls for something sweet though, I've been using local honey. And if you're trying to avoid white sugar, you could just use that honey. You could use maple syrup. I don't think like stevia would work in this situation, but I really like the dill and it's very strong. So I'm having trouble talking about it, but yeah, super easy. You just let it cool, dump it over here, and you leave it on top of that for around 2 weeks, and then you are good to go. The original recipe calls for horseradish. I really enjoy that. This is very similar to Pennsylvania chow chow, so like pickled vegetables, but you're just putting eggs in there. So I'm excited to show you this. I'm going to wait till this cools, and then I will pour it over. All right, instead of I guess lasagna, because we just don't have enough, I'm gonna make enchiladas. So I have some chicken. It's not enough for a full serving, so I'm gonna load it up with some pinto beans. I have bell pepper and onion. I have this enchilada sauce from Esch's. It's $3.29. Normally it's super expensive. And then I have random blocks of cheese. So we're gonna put that all in some homemade tortillas and then top it with some of the sauce, some extra cheese, serve it with sour cream and rice, and I think that's what it's gonna be. I don't know. I think it'll be tasty. It's pretty basic, right? And I just love having things like this on hand because I know I can make a meal with it. So I'm gonna make these homemade tortillas. I'll show you how I do it. It's so easy. So in the bowl, I just have 1 cup of the unbleached, unenriched, all-purpose flour, and then I put a little on the side just so I can roll it out without it being sticky. I have a pinch of salt, and then I wanted to show you, I asked Wilder the other day who wrote this on here, and he told me the Easter Bunny did, so that was pretty funny. I'm just going to do about a teaspoon of baking powder and then a 1/2 cup of warm water, and then I will just hand knead it together and start rolling them out. It should make 8 to 10. It just depends on how long, you roll them out and your ingredients. Essentially, it's very, very simple, and they are pliable, so I like to use them to roll up. And then over here I have some oil heating up, and we will fry them up together. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but it's 1/2 cup of warm water and then a little bit of oil, then mix it all together here, and then we can roll it out.
You say you don't wanna get in trouble, that you're doing fine cause you got me. I don't wanna break your little bubble, but you gotta wake up to reality. Cause I can see in your eyes, your head is full of dreams. Tears are a proof of failure, you just gotta let them flow without judge. There's so many ways to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You just gotta trust the right. Don't have to be scary. You just gotta follow the light. You're able to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You don't have to be. I see you hesitating while you're waiting, like somebody's gonna give it to you. You gotta chase it, gotta believe it. You gotta go get it for yourself. Cause I can see in your eyes, your head is full of dreams. Tears are a proof of failure, you just gotta let them flow without judge. There's so many ways to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You just gotta trust the right. Don't have to be scary. You just gotta follow the light. You're able to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You don't have to be.
So now that everything is prepped, I like to have everything out so it's easier to assemble these, but I put a little bit of enchilada sauce into the mixture as well as the bottom of the pan. This was our first time trying that siete, and I personally didn't think it was too spicy, but it was just too spicy for the kids. So I would suggest maybe leaving it out or making your own, or if you can handle spice, that's great. But my young ones, it's not really good for them, in my opinion. So, yes, we are just rolling them just like this. And then I like to put cheese on top of everything. Some people put cheese on the inside. I learned from one of my old neighbors, but her mom was from Guadalajara and she always used flour tortillas and she always made them puffy like this and then put the cheese on the top. So I tried them once like that, and that is why I do it the way that I do it. So I never claim to be authentic, but I just learned from someone and that's why I enjoy it. But this one made 6 enchiladas and they're pretty big, so I feel like that's enough for a family of 5, but it's up to you. And then I do put the beans and rice in the same dish just to save on dishes, and it just gives a good flavor. So I'm using instant rice. I know, gasp, but we have it to use up, and then I'm putting the pinto beans on top along with the rest of the enchilada sauce. So now that I'm thinking about it, you could probably even water this down and it would be a little less spicy, but I'm going to bake it uncovered at 400 for around 20 minutes, and then we are going to serve it up. I like to bake mine uncovered because I like it ooey gooey, but I do like that crispiness on the top from the cheese. But this is going to be the last recipe from my little from scratch kitchen this week. I hope you enjoyed all of the recipes. If you want exact ones, just comment down below and I can type it out for you. I can't wait to catch you on the next one. Stay adventurous, stay creative. Bye, y'all.